What if I told you that right now, while you feel perfectly fine, your feet could already be screaming that your kidneys are failing? Think about that for a second. Every day, thousands of Americans wake up believing they're healthy, yet deep inside their kidneys are silently shutting down. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and let me be absolutely clear. Kidney disease is one of the most dangerous silent killers in this country. More than 37 million Americans are living with it, and here's the terrifying part. 9 out of 10 don't even know. That means you could lose up to 90% of your kidney function before you feel truly sick, before the pain forces you to pay attention. And by then, for most people, dialysis or even a transplant is the only way forward. But here's the shocking twist. Long before you collapse, long before your doctor delivers the diagnosis you dread, your body's already sending desperate signals, and those signals are hiding in plain sight right at your feet. Swelling that doesn't go away, strange tingling at night colors that shift in ways you can't explain. These are not random quirks of aging. They are red alarms begging you to listen, and if you know how to recognize them, you can stop kidney disease in its tracks, avoid years of suffering, and maybe even save your own life. That's why in this video, I'm going to reveal 7 hidden warnings your feet are giving you right now. Some of them are subtle, some of them are terrifying, and every single one has the power to change the course of your health forever. So stay with me, because the first sign often shows up quietly at the end of the day when you take off your shoes and think nothing of it, but in truth, it's already your kidneys pleading for help. Have you ever taken off your shoes at the end of the day and noticed your feet look swollen, maybe with deep sock marks circling your ankles? Most people laugh it off. I was on my feet too long, or I ate too much salt. But here's the truth. Persistent swelling isn't just a cosmetic annoyance. It can be one of the very first cries for help from your kidneys. I'll never forget Robert, a retired carpenter I treated. For months, he thought his puffy ankles were just from years of standing on concrete floors. By the time he finally came to me, his kidney function had dropped below 30%. What looked like a harmless inconvenience was actually his body's alarm bell ringing nonstop. Here's what the science tells us. Healthy kidneys are like master regulators. They balance sodium and water, keeping everything in check. But when the kidneys weaken, sodium piles up in your blood, and your body desperately holds on to water to dilute it. That water sinks to the lowest point, your feet and ankles. Doctors call this pitting edema. If you press your finger into the skin and it leaves a dent that lingers, it's not just swelling, it's proof that your fluid balance is broken. And this isn't the type of swelling that fades overnight. It lingers, it worsens, and it silently drags you closer to dialysis. Research shows that people with chronic kidney disease are far more likely to experience this kind of edema, and yet most shrug it off until it's too late. That's why ignoring it is so dangerous, because by the time you take it seriously, damage may already be irreversible. So if your socks are leaving deep marks, if your shoes feel tighter every evening, don't dismiss it as just aging. This could be your body begging you to act before it's too late. But only spotting swelling isn't enough, because what comes next is even more sinister. When the nerves in your feet start to go numb, the danger becomes personal in ways you can't imagine. And that's the second hidden warning you need to hear. If swelling is the first alarm, then numbness is the second, and it's far more dangerous because it steals your ability to even feel when something is wrong. Imagine lying in bed at night, and instead of drifting into sleep, your toes start tingling, burning, or buzzing with pins and needles. Most people blame it on bad shoes, poor circulation, or simply getting older. But when your kidneys are struggling, these sensations are no coincidence. They are toxic fingerprints of kidney failure etched into your nerves. I think of Maria, a 62-year-old school teacher. She brushed off the tingling in her toes as a side effect of tight heels she wore to class. By the time she finally got tested, her kidneys were overloaded with waste. Those toxins were literally poisoning her nerves. Doctors call this condition uremic neuropathy, and it affects up to 70% of people with chronic kidney disease, even before they realize they're sick. Here's the science behind it. When your kidneys lose their filtering power, waste products accumulate in the blood. These toxins strip away the protective coating around your nerve fibers, starting with the longest ones, the nerves that reach your feet. That's why the numbness begins in the toes and slowly creeps upward. And here's the hidden danger: numbness robs you of your natural protection. You could step on a nail, develop a blister, or cut your skin and never feel it until infection sets in. For far too many patients, what began as a small unnoticed sore ends up in an amputation. So if your feet tingle, burn, or go strangely numb, don't ignore it. It's not just discomfort, it's your body shouting that toxins are building faster than your kidneys can handle. But only knowing about nerve damage isn't enough, because the next warning doesn't just irritate your nerves, it strikes deeper, gnawing at your bones with pain that can shatter your ability to walk. And that's the third sign you cannot afford to miss. If swelling shows the strain and numbness exposes the toxins, then pain is the sign that hits you where it hurts most every single step you take. Many people blame aching feet on cheap shoes or arthritis, but in kidney disease, the pain runs deeper right into the bones themselves. I remember David, a 58-year-old mechanic. He told me his feet throbbed every night, especially around his big toe. He thought it was just the punishment of years spent on concrete floors. But his blood test told a much darker story. His uric acid levels were sky high, his kidneys were failing, and sharp crystals were literally stabbing his joints from the inside out. That's gout, one of the most brutal companions of kidney disease. Science explains why this happens. Healthy kidneys filter waste and keep minerals like calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D in perfect balance. But when kidneys weaken, this balance collapses. Your bones start losing calcium, leaving them brittle and painful. At the same time, uric acid builds up in your blood, crystallizing in your joints and triggering sudden excruciating gout attacks. Studies show nearly 1/3 of kidney patients suffer from gout, and having gout in return increases the risk of kidney disease by up to 40%. It's a vicious cycle that accelerates decline. And here's the cruel part. This isn't the dull ache of tired muscles. Patients describe it as deep gnawing pain that doesn't respond to common painkillers, often striking hardest at night when you desperately need rest. Every step feels like walking on broken glass, your skeleton itself breaking down under the weight of kidney disease. So if your toes flare with sudden agony, if your feet ache with a pain that refuses to leave, don't brush it off. Your body could be sounding a far louder alarm than you realize. But pain is only one layer of the story, because sometimes the truth doesn't hide deep in the bones, it stares right back at you on the surface, through sudden changes in the very color of your skin. And that's the fourth hidden sign your feet may be revealing. Sometimes the most dangerous signals don't hide at all. They stare you right in the face, or more accurately at your feet. Look down for a moment. Do they look paler than usual, almost washed out? Or maybe they appear reddish purplish, even with patches darker than the rest of your skin. These aren't cosmetic quirks or just age spots. They can be powerful warnings that your kidneys are in trouble and your circulation is collapsing. I'll never forget Ellen, a woman in her 60s who came to my office worried that her feet were turning 2 shades darker than her legs. She assumed it was simple pigmentation from aging, but her test revealed advanced kidney disease and severe vascular damage. Her feet were literally showing the truth her kidneys could no longer hide. Here's what's happening inside. The same high blood pressure and diabetes that destroy kidneys also damage the arteries feeding your feet. When arterial flow is blocked, your feet turn pale or even white. When venous return is sluggish, they become dark and ruddy. If oxygen delivery gets critically low, toes can turn bluish, and in extreme cases, black patches of gangrene can appear, signaling tissue death and a life-threatening emergency. And it's not only about blood flow. High phosphorus levels common in kidney failure irritate the skin and cause relentless itching. Over time, darker patches of hyperpigmentation appear, which many mistake for harmless aging. In truth, they are visible footprints of kidney decline. Studies confirm that skin color changes are among the most overlooked early markers of chronic kidney disease, often dismissed until complications explode. So if you notice unexplained shifts in the color of your feet, don't shrug it off. They might be telling the story of failing circulation and rising toxins before your lab results ever do. But if you think strange colors are disturbing, wait until you hear what comes next, because the next sign doesn't just change how your feet look, it makes them crawl, sting, and itch with a torment so intense that some patients say they'd rather live with pain than endure it. And that's the fifth hidden warning you need to know. Imagine an itch so relentless it keeps you awake night after night. You scratch until your skin breaks, but the relief never comes. This isn't dry skin. It's not an allergy. It's something far more sinister. For many kidney patients, itching, what doctors call uremic pruritus, starts in the feet and ankles and it can be one of the most torturous warnings of kidney failure. I remember Mark, a 65-year-old retiree. He told me he wore socks to bed, not for warmth, but to keep himself from scratching his feet raw while he slept. He thought it was just sensitive skin, but in reality his failing kidneys could no longer remove excess phosphorus from his blood. That phosphorus built up, depositing in his skin and triggering an itch that no lotion could calm. And the science confirms it. Nearly 90% of people with advanced kidney disease suffer from this relentless itching. It happens because toxins and waste products accumulate under the skin, irritating nerve endings that sense itch. The cruel twist is the more you scratch, the more you damage the skin, creating open wounds that struggle to heal because circulation is already poor. Those wounds become breeding grounds for infection-raising risks that can spiral out of control. But the danger doesn't end with the skin. This itching crushes, sleep fuels anxiety, and drives depression. Studies show that kidney patients battling chronic itch have a much lower quality of life and a faster decline in kidney function. It's not just irritating, it's devastating. And yet far too many dismiss it as just dry skin. So if your feet or ankles itch for no clear reason, don't ignore it. It could be your kidneys shouting through your skin, telling you the toxins are winning. But as unbearable as itching can be, there's another signal that robs people of peace every single night. It's not pain, it's not rash. It's the feeling of crawling, burning, or shocks racing through your legs, forcing you to move when all you want is rest. And that's the sixth hidden sign your kidneys are in trouble. Picture this, it's late, you're exhausted, and you finally crawl into bed hoping for rest. But the moment you get comfortable, your legs betray you. They start to twitch, crawl, or buzz as if tiny insects are moving beneath your skin. No matter how much you beg your body to stay still, the urge to move is overwhelming. That's not ordinary restlessness. For kidney patients, this is often restless leg syndrome, a cruel condition triggered by toxins in the blood. Take Thomas, a 61-year-old truck driver I once treated. He told me he would pace around his bedroom for hours at night, just trying to quiet the crawling sensation in his legs. At first, he thought it was just stress or nerves from long hauls on the road. But tests revealed the real culprit. His kidneys were failing, and waste products were disrupting the delicate brain chemicals that control movement. Here's the science. When kidneys weaken, toxins build up and interfere with dopamine, the neurotransmitter that regulates muscle control. That's why up to 60% of people with kidney disease experience restless legs. And it always strikes hardest at night, the very time your body needs deep sleep to heal. Instead of rest, you're trapped in a cycle of exhaustion and frustration. Poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired. It accelerates kidney decline, fuels depression, and even increases mortality. The cruel twist: regular medications for restless legs don't work well for kidney patients because their weakened kidneys can't safely clear the drugs. That leaves many stuck pacing the floor night after night, bodies drained, minds unraveling. It's one of the most exhausting hidden torments of chronic kidney disease. So if your nights are restless, if your legs crawl or twitch the moment you lie down, don't brush it off. It's a red flag that toxins are already overwhelming your system. But as brutal as this is, the worst warning is still ahead. Because when your kidneys are severely damaged, even the smallest cut on your foot may refuse to heal, turning into something far more dangerous. And that's the seventh and final hidden sign you need to watch for. Now imagine this. You clip your toenails and nick the skin, or maybe your new shoes rub a small blister on your heel. For most people, it heals within a week or two. But for someone with struggling kidneys, that tiny wound can linger for months, refusing to close, and sometimes turning into an ulcer that threatens the entire foot. I think of John, a 67-year-old retiree, who shrugged off a small scratch on his heel. Weeks later, it had grown into a deep sore that became infected, spreading dangerously close to the bone. His kidneys were failing, his circulation was weak, and his immune system simply couldn't fight back. What started as a harmless mark nearly cost him his leg. Here's why this happens. Chronic kidney disease weakens almost every system in your body. Poor circulation means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach wounds. Nerve damage means you may not even feel the injury until it's severe. And a weakened immune system, often worsened by diabetes, struggles to control infections. Research shows 1 in 4 kidney patients develop foot ulcers, and half of those ulcers become infected. Tragically, many end in amputation, an outcome that could have been prevented with earlier detection and care. So if you notice cuts, blisters, or sores on your feet that just won't heal, don't ignore them. They are not minor, they are proof your kidneys are in crisis. This is your body's way of sounding the loudest alarm, one you can literally see every time you look down. But here's the good news. Recognizing these signs doesn't have to lead to fear, it can lead to action. Because when you catch kidney trouble early, you give yourself the power to slow it, stop it, and sometimes even reverse the damage. And that's exactly where we're headed next. The conclusion of this journey, where you'll learn how paying attention to your feet could protect your kidneys, your independence, and your future. You've just discovered 7 of the most important warning signs your feet can reveal about kidney failure, swelling, numbness, pain, color, changes, relentless, itching, restless legs, and wounds that refuse to heal. And I want you to remember, this knowledge is power, but action is what truly saves lives. So if even one of these symptoms feels familiar, don't brush it off. Talk to your doctor. Ask for simple blood and urine tests, because catching kidney problems early gives you options. Diet changes, the right medications, and small lifestyle shifts can slow down or even stop the progression of kidney disease. You are not powerless, and you are never too late to make a change. That's why I want to encourage you, please save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need a reminder, and share it with your loved ones. Someone in your family may already be showing these signs without realizing what they mean. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel right now. When you do, you'll get the latest medical insights, practical tips, and life-saving guidance about kidney health delivered directly to you, like having a health companion by your side every step of the way. Because here's the truth, your kidneys may be silent, but your feet are not. They're giving you clues every single day. And now that you know how to listen, you have the power to protect your kidneys, your independence, and your future. I believe in you. I've seen patients turn their lives around just by paying attention to the little things and taking action early. Your story doesn't have to end in dialysis. It can end in strength and freedom, and in years of quality life still ahead of you. So take this as your sign, your wake-up call. Protect your kidneys, protect your future. Save this video, hit subscribe, and join a community that's here to keep you informed and supported every step of the way.